Hi guys, and welcome to another Divi video. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, today we're going to add this nice little info bar to the bottom of our hero section. And it's sticky, which means when it gets to the top there, it'll stay there if you've got important info you want. Then when we roll back, when it gets to the hero section again, it'll unstick itself and go down the bottom there. And this will look equally as good on mobile and tablets. Let's just check that out. I'm using Google Chrome here with the inspector tools. If I hit F12, I can get the inspector tools up and toggle it to mobile devices. This is an iPad. And there it is. When we roll on down, again it'll stick to the top. And let's have a look on a cell phone. iPhone 10. Let's make it a little bit bigger. There it is right there. When it gets to the top, it'll stay there. And of course you can disable that on a phone if you decide to. But if you've got important info, that's a good place to put it. So let's get started. I'm going to get rid of the inspector and I'm going to enable my Visual Builder. Okay, well this is just the landing page for the business coach template that they've got. Divi comes with a huge amount of templates. This is, like I say, this is the business coach template I've just loaded for this demonstration. So let's get rid of this whole section and start from scratch. Okay, so I'm going to add a new section just at the end of our hero section there. Obviously the hero section is a full width section, that's why I've got a purple button instead of a blue one. But I'm going to add a regular section. Inside that section I'm going to put a row with 4 columns because I'm going to have 4 buttons. And I'm just going to add a button to that first one. There we go. And I want to make my row full width because I want to use up the maximum amount of area there. So I'm going to go into the row, the green tab. I'm going to go over to design and sizing. I'm going to make the width 100%. I'm going to copy that, Control C, paste it into the max width below, or you can just type it in if you prefer. Now we're using all that space there. I'm going to use a custom gutter width because I want these buttons to be buffered up against each other, or these little columns I should say. So I'm going to turn that to on and put this down to 1 so there's no space between the actual columns there. And you can put equalize columns heights on if you want to. I'm going to have all mine the same height modules anyway, so it doesn't make a lot of difference. So let's get started. First thing I want to do is give this row a background color. I'm going to give it a background gradient. We've got color, gradient, image or video. I'm in the row main settings and on the content here. So I'm going to add a gradient. And I'm going to make it pretty dark. Something like this at the top. And the bottom can be completely black. There we go, something like that. Fantastic. Okay, now I don't want any space between the top of my section and the bottom of my section, so I'm going to take all the padding away from the section. So I'll save the row, we'll get out of there. We'll go into the blue tab, hit the little cog, we'll go into design, spacing. I will make sure I haven't got any padding on the top or on the bottom. There we go, fantastic. Okay. Well, let's style up our button and make it a little more interesting. So I'm going to go into the button, the dark tab for the button itself. And we'll say learn more. Obviously you want to put the link to wherever you want to take them, whether it's to a new section or to a new page in there. If you're linking to a website other than the one you're on, I should open it in a new tab. That way your website stays open. Okay, well let's go into our design. First thing I want to do is put the button in the middle, and I don't want to see that border on there. I want to make it slightly different from that. So we'll go down to button. I'm going to use custom styles for the button. Remember, we're on the design tab. Text size itself is probably okay. I might take it down to like 16 or something like that. Text color, I'm going to make it white. Not going to have a button background. And I'm not going to have a button border either. So I'm going to take the width down to 0 on that one. I am going to use an icon, show button icon. If it's off, you can just flip it to on and choose the icon that you want here. And there's plenty of them to choose from. Now you can't see it because it's only set to show on hover at the moment. You see it shows on the right hand side if we hover on it. You can choose different color for the icon if you want to. I'm going to leave mine exactly the same, but I want it to be on the left. I want it to show all the time. So to have it show all the time, I need to switch this to off, only show icon on hover. There we go. Fantastic, just what I want. But the actual icon text itself, let's have that change color when we hover on it perhaps, just to show that it's going to do something. So here's our button text color. Common to most Divi modules, if you hover over the black legending here and hit the arrow, it'll bring up two boxes, desktop or non-hover state, which I want it to be white. And then when you hover on it, I wanted to give it a color. I guess we got a blue sort of motif going on here, so let's use a blue, but perhaps not that one because it's quite dark. So let's just pull that up a little bit. Too greeny. There we go, that'll do fine right there. Okay, so that's our button taken care of. Now I actually want to give this column a border. And again, I don't want any space between the top of the row and the bottom of the row and the module. I want it to be all the same size. So let's make our module as big as we want it at the moment. So I'll go back into the module where we were just now, design, spacing, and let's give it padding top and bottom. Let's say 20 pixels. We can change this if we decide it's not enough. Now then, let's go into our row and decorate this so it looks a bit more interesting and get rid of the padding up here at the top and on the bottom there. So I'm going to go into the row. I'm going to do the same as we did with the section. I'm going to go into spacing, make sure there's no padding on the top and no padding on the bottom. There we go. And I think I might like to make those a little wider too, so I might add a bit of padding to those, but I'll do that in a second. While we're in the row, let's go back to our content, and I'm going to give it a bit of a border all round, and I'm going to make it so when we hover on it, the top highlights a bit. So let's go to our first column here. Got column 1, 2, 3, it's hidden there, and 4 over here. We're in number 1. I'm going to go to design, I'm going to go to border. Roll down. I don't want any rounding corners. Instead of doing them all at once, I'm going to do them all separately. And the top, let's give it a border of 2, and I'm going to make the color (51, 51, 51). Oops, one too many there. There we go. And I'm going to do a similar, I'm just going to copy that color right there. I'm going to go up, left border, you should be able to see it when I put it in. That same one, and we'll make it 1 pixel, and then you can see it right there. We'll go up, and we'll do the same for the bottom. And this will all make sense when we collapse it and things, if it looks a bit strange now. I want to give it 1, and the color again. Great. So I just need to do the left. Now we've got all our borders in place. The top one I want to make highlight. I'll make sure I've got 1 pixel on that one, 1 pixel on that one, 1 pixel on that one, 2 pixels on the top. And now, and the top one, I want to make a different color when we hover over it. So again, we're going to roll over where it says border color in the dark legending there, hit the little arrow. Okay, so we're 5151 on desktop, and on hover I want to make that white. Just check that's okay. Great. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm just going to extend those styles to the rest of the column so I don't have to go through and do those. So I'll hit the save. We'll go back into the main row module. I'm going to right click and say extend item styles. I'm going to say to this row, hit extend, and that's it. All of our columns have got those same borders and things now. Okay, well I just want to make sure my button's right before I copy it over, so I'm going to go in there. I'm just going to make it a little bit wider, I think. So I'm going to go to design and spacing, and I'm going to change that to 30 pixels. There we go, nice chunky buttons right there. Fantastic. While we're in here, I think I'm going to make that text capitalized too. So let's go back to the button text. I'm going to roll down, and here is button font style. I'm going to capitalize it. There we go, that's great. So now we're happy with that first button. I'm going to clone it, hit the 2 little boxes there. Doesn't matter which one you left click, drag and drop it where you want it. Go in there and change the name and the link obviously, and rinse and repeat. I'll pause this video and I'll quickly do that. Okay, so I've just done the last one there and it's all looking fairly good, but we want to make it sticky. We want to make it stick to the top there when they roll down here so it stays in plain sight. So let's do that. To do that, let's go back into our row, the green tab, advanced, and down to scroll effects and sticky position. So we're going to say stick to top. There we go. You can give it an offset if you want, or you can give it a bottom sticky limit if you want. Don't need to do any of that. That should actually work perfectly. So if you've done everything right, this should work. So let's save our changes. Save the page changes and exit the Visual Builder. And there it is down the bottom, and as you can see when we hover over it, the link changes color there, and the highlight the top border on the column there. Fantastic, just what we wanted. Okay, well let's roll it up now, and as you can see it sticks to the top there. When we roll back down the site, once the hero section pops in, it drops back into place. And that's a really nice little feature to have on your site. And like I showed you earlier, it works perfectly on responsive devices. Hit the inspector again. You can disable it on a phone, or you could make it smaller on a phone if you didn't want it to take up so much real estate. Very easy to do. Let's have a look on a tablet. And on the tablet, I mean, I'm very happy with that. So let's exit out of here. If you decided you wanted to hide it on a phone, we could simply go down and select this whole section. Go over to advanced and visibility, and you could say disable on phone, but that's entirely up to you. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. Like I say, that's a nice thing to have on your site, pretty easy to do. So if you've enjoyed that, please give it a thumbs up, comment, share, ring the bell and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.